Hello and welcome. Alright, so in this video, I'll be explaining div, class, and ID. So I created a video on this previously, but there was no audio. That's why I'm creating a new one. Now, what is div, class, and ID? So div is like something that is very important. If you are going to be designing website, you'll be needing div a lot. You see that most of the projects you do, you have to use a div. So it's like a container. It's like creating a section, and then in that section, if I give it an ID, I can manipulate it, I can design it, I can change it any way I want. Okay, so we'll be practicing on something so you understand better. Now, okay, let's call our HTML5. So the first thing you want to do is that in your head section, make sure you link your CSS. Very important. So link style with CSS. Okay. So we use div mostly in the body section. So if you can see something like this, you see div, div. Now, I've created this div. It's as if I've created a separate section. Okay, so I want to do something like a flag or something. So I'll give this div a class name of main. Okay, then inside this div, I'll create another div. And then I'll give this an ID of, it's just a color one. Any name, you can give it any name, but just make sure it's something that you remember. Then I'll create another div and say color 2. Okay, so we have 3 different div. Okay, so now I will be styling them in our CSS, so we see how it works. Remove this thing. Alright, so let's remove all the margins that are there. Okay, so now I want to edit this first div class. You know, I created, see what I did? I created this main div class, and then inside this main div, I now added 3 different div. Okay, so I will be editing them separately. So that's what div allows you to do. So it allows you to edit each section separately. You can do anything you want to do, as long as you put it in a div class and then you give it an ID or a class. Now, so for this first one, that is main, what I'll do is to call this class, I will do dot, very important, main, no space, just put dot main. Then I can edit it and do whatever I want with it. So let's say I give this a background color of #333. Okay, let's say we have this background color. and let's give it a minimum height of 50 view height. So that's for the main. Now for this first div, you can just come and copy the name from here so that you don't make mistake. Now when you are using id, you use hash. You no longer use dot, you use hash. So you put hash, then the name. Okay, now I can do anything I want to do with this first div. Now let's create something. Let's give it let's make this display inline block. Then we'll add width. It's 5%. And we'll add height. I'll add a background color of green. Okay, so now I'll come here and copy this. So this is just like doing this to be fast, because I want to replicate the same thing for the tree div. But coming to this place, I'll copy the name of the second div, and I'll change this one to the second. I'll copy the name of this third. This color tree. Another thing I want you to take note when using div is that you cannot have two div with the same name. Like I use this id. If you're working with id, you cannot have id that have the same name. Like I'm using this id called color1. This id too cannot be color1, except I want it to have the same effect. So I want, now let's do something. Let's check our output. So this is what we have. We have something like this, but this is not what I want to happen. I want something else to happen. I want this one to be white. Then I want this one to be just 27%. Now, alright, so you see this is showing like a flag. So this is the first div we created, this is the middle one, and this is the third one. Now instead of, you notice that this color and this color, they are the same. So instead of creating this third div and giving it a different id and then going to css and editing it separately, I can just give it the id of the first one, and then I'll take out this part. Please don't be confused though. Take out this part. So you see, we still have the same effect. I can make this to be 100 so that it covers the entire screen. No, not this one. I want to make the height to be 100. Alright, so you see this covering the entire screen. So I can work with this. I can change anything I want to change. I can write text inside. So just know how div work. The most important thing I want you to pick from this video is, now you've created a div. So div is like a container, and then inside that container you can add different elements. You can style it the way you want to style. Now when you are using id, you use hash. Okay, when you are using class, you use dot, no space, then the name of the class. Is case sensitive, so you have to make sure that the name you have here is the same with the name you have here. And then when you are working with, why this is id is important, let's say you are working with multiple pages and they have almost everything in common. So instead of going to type css for all the pages, you can just give them a similar id, then when you call it in css, you use the same properties for all of them, like I did in this one. So we had 3 div, but I called only 2 because the first and the third, they are the same. Okay, so for your assignment, I want you to replicate this. Not exactly, you can use any color you want to use. You can change the color, and let's try changing the color, or use the flag of your country. Just do something so you understand how it works. Let's see, let's put green here. What's the color green? UV. Let's see, orange. Alright, so you see you have these 3 different colors. So that's how to work with div, class and id. Okay, so see you in the next video.